In a world filled with fleeting moments and cherished memories, few professions hold as much power to preserve love stories as a wedding photographer. Among these talented individuals, there is one who stands out, not merely as a photographer, but as an artist who transforms moments into timeless treasures. His lens becomes a bridge between fleeting emotions and everlasting memories, capturing not just pictures, but the very essence of love. Andrew Graham TODES. His work is nothing short of extraordinary. His passion for storytelling is evident in every photograph he takes. Each frame is a masterpiece, capturing the intricate tapestry of emotions that weave through a wedding day. From the nervous anticipation of the bride as she prepares for her walk down the aisle, to the proud glimmer in a father's eyes and the unspoken promises exchanged in a couple's first glance. He sees what others might overlook. His gift lies in his ability to spot the magic within these seemingly ordinary moments, immortalizing them in his art. What sets him apart is not just his technical skill, but his deep understanding of human connection.
So my background's advertising and copywriting. So I used to write a lot of TV ads and radio ads, print ads, and I would go on photo shoots. From a creative point of view, when you work in advertising, you have to come up with ideas all the time, and you have to come up with them very quickly when you're coming up with TV campaigns, radio campaigns, and so on. So my brain, I was being trained ever since I was young to come up with ideas and to improvise very quickly. And when you walk onto a photo set or a wedding or wherever you're taking pictures, you go in with a blank slate, and your mind has to very, very quickly come up with ideas. You have to see potential very quick. Your brain has to be firing like a million miles an hour. So I did that in advertising, so it was a very natural transition for me to do it in photography as well. Like essentially every 5 minutes, you have to get the shot and you got to move on to the next thing. Yeah. You don't have time to light it professionally. You don't have time to set it up professionally. You have to make it look professional on the fly, and you got to shoot quick. You got to think quick. Yeah, the key is you have to create the sense that we have all the time in the world, that everything's going according to plan, everything's nice and easy, no stress, yet your mind inside, your mind's working a million miles an hour on the inside. On the outside, you have to be kind of the iceberg, just cool and calm. What I had to deal with in the early days was tremendous nerves and tension and a fear that I was destroying rolls of film. And consequently, I wouldn't sleep before shoots. I would often turn up to shoots having slept maybe 1 or 2 hours, kind of terrified. When you deal with film cameras, they tend to jam, like film would get stuck in them. So that would happen fairly often. There was one shoot where my camera jammed and I couldn't fix it. Then I went onto my second camera and there was something wrong with that one too. Kind of terrified to see what the film would look like, but everything worked out. But then I sweated bullets over that way. And yeah.
Andy's photography possesses a rare ability to tell a story through his work. Each album he creates feels like a journey, taking viewers through the emotions of the day. The joy of the ceremony, the laughter of friends and family, and the quiet, tender moments shared by the couple.
So when a couple comes to me, the most important thing we need to figure out is what the rough schedule is going to look like. And we need to put down on paper a kind of a plan for the day. But I also need them to understand that real life is messy and things may happen during the photo shoot that we didn't plan for. And so we have to be ready to go to plan B and sometimes a plan C. So the most important thing I need from my couples is a sense that it's okay if we deviate from the plan, that that's normal, that bad weather's normal, that flowers are not delivered on time, that grooms may get the wrong shirt, that limousines break down. A million little things are going to throw us off schedule. And I want them to know ahead of time that that's going to be, we got to be fine. I'm there to help them go from plan A to plan B, and there's nearly always plan B. So the most important thing is we need to develop mental flexibility and resilience and a good working relationship that they can look to me and turn to me to give them good advice on the day when things go a little bit off kilter, and we're just going to roll with it. We have to develop that sense that we're in it together. We're going on an adventure. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. We have a sense how the day is going to go, how the shoot's going to go. So I've developed a method over time with my clients when it comes to managing expectations. Like if there's certain shots that we absolutely have to get, send them to me in writing. I'll bring them on a piece of paper with me, and I'll work through the order. And my particular method is the most important shots go up the top of the list, the 3 or 4 most important ones, then the next set of priorities. And then beyond that, if we don't get something, I'm going to give it 100% effort, but sometimes you don't get everything. This topic comes up all the time. I would say a third to half of my couples come out and say to me that they feel nervous being on camera. They're not crazy about the way they look. They're a little self-conscious. I love it when I get this. I love it when couples raise this. I think it's fantastic. I love the honesty. I love the vulnerability. I think they sense they're in good hands with me just by raising it. And I say to them, I first asked them, have you ever been shot by a professional photographer? Have you ever been shot by a professional photographer? Most of the people who feel nervous about the way they look have never been on a professional photo shoot. It's a whole different ballgame, I like to tell my clients, when you're working with a professional photographer. We use better lenses. We have a better sense of lighting. We have better equipment. And we have better post-production. But the key is, we're just more fun to be around. A good photographers are going to make you feel very relaxed in front of the camera. In fact, they make you forget that you have a camera at all. And what ends up happening very quickly is when I work with my couples, self-conscious couples, is they completely forget that I have a camera. It's just us hanging out together in a nice location. and they dressed really nice, then let's try this. Let's try this. Very, very quickly, all the inhibitions go away. And I give them good. And if I see them doing something good, it's really simple. It's just like when kids are doing something good, you praise them, you tell them they're doing a good job, gives them more confidence. I'm very relaxed myself when I'm working with my couples. And my sense of self-confidence, they pick up on, and they feel confident. I'm quietly spoken, and I have a generous sense of humor. That's the best thing you can do with couples who are nervous. Just get them to giggle. Just get them to have fun together. Get them to focus in on one another. Forget that I even exist, or certainly forget that the camera exists. And then the moment becomes deeper and richer, and all the artificial stuff just disappears, and then they can be themselves around the camera. So very often, for the first time in their lives, couples actually enjoy the process. Even the guys who go into photography, it's kind of a necessary evil, and they don't really want to do it. They're very apprehensive about the photography, but usually within minutes that all just evaporates, and then we have a good time together. My sister told me something once that's really stuck with me. She said, you're doing a really valuable service for people. And I said, what do you mean? She says, well, no one really likes the way they look on camera. And you're giving these people the gift of allowing themselves to enjoy the way they look. They're looking at the photographs and they're really loving photographs and the way they look. And she said, that's a real gift to be able to give to someone, the gift of self-acceptance and even self-love, without trying to sound too woo-woo. But it's really stuck with me what my sister said to me, and I think she's right. I think we all have inhibitions and fears, and the camera can be pretty ruthless at times. The camera sees pretty deeply, and you really want to establish that rapport with someone where the true self comes out, and they trust you, and ultimately, if everything comes together the way it should, the lighting's good, the background's good, the moment feels real, the camera disappears, and the good stuff comes out, and then people, even if they're a little heavier than they want to be, or they're just not quite looking the way they want, they should spend more time in the gym, and they know it, but that doesn't matter at a certain point. It's like, as long as they feel happy around the camera, that joy and that love transcends everything. You don't have to be a size 0 model to look good on film. You can just be an ordinary person, and you can look really good if you're having fun, and there's trust, and there's a sense of teamwork, and that's when the good things happen.
Andrew Graham, TODES, photography. His storytelling is so compelling that those who view his photographs feel as though they were present, even if they were not. In a world that often rushes past moments of beauty, this wedding photographer reminds us to pause and appreciate the magic that surrounds us. His work is a celebration of love in its purest form, a testament to the power of photography to preserve life's most meaningful experiences. He invites the viewer into the heart of the story, creating images that speak louder than words. In just 1,000th of a second, he masterfully crafts moments that resonate for a lifetime. Through his lens, he captures not just images, but the very soul of a wedding day, a gift that couples will treasure for generations to come. He is more than a wedding photographer. He is a storyteller, a dreamer, an artist. Perhaps what makes his work truly magical is his genuine love for what he does, turning love into art, leaving behind a legacy of joy and wonder in every frame. Photography with a sense of style and a sense of humor.